ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्त राधा कान्त नमोऽस्तुते। तप्त काञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। 9.7 सर्वभूतानि कौन्तेय प्रकृतिं यान्ति मामिकाम् कल्पक्षये पुनस्तानि कल्पादौ विसृजाम्यहम्। Sarvabhutani, all created entities. Kaunteya, O son of Kunti. Prakritim, nature. Yanti, enter. Mamikam, my. Kalpakshaye, at the end of the millennium. Punah, again. Tani, all those. Kalpado, in the beginning of the millennium. Visrajami, create. Aham, I. O son of Kunti, at the end of the millennium, all material manifestations enter into my nature, and at the beginning of another millennium, by my potency, I create them again. 9.8 Prakritim swam avasthabhya Visrajami punah punah Bhutagramamimam kritsnam Avasyam prakritirvashat. Prakritim, the material nature, swam, of my personal self. Avastabhya, entering into. Visrajami, I create. Punah punaha, again and again. Bhuta gramam, all the cosmic manifestations. Imam, these. Kritsnam, in total. Avashyam, automatically. Prakritehe, of the force of nature. Vashat, under obligation. The whole cosmic order is under me. Under my will, it is automatically manifested again and again, and under my will, it is annihilated at the end. 9.9 Nacha mam tani karmani nibhatyanti dhananjaya उदासीनवद् आसीनम् असक्तं तेषु कर्मसु न never cha also mam me tani all those karmani activities nibhatyanti bind dhananjaya o conqueror of riches udasinavat as neutral asinam situated asaktam, without attraction, teshu, for those, karmasu, activities. O Dhananjaya, all this work cannot bind me. I am ever detached from all these material activities, seated as though neutral. 9.10 मयाध्यक्षेण प्रकृतिः
मयाध्यक्षेण प्रकृतिः
सूयते सचराचरम्
सूयते सचराचरम्
हेतुनानेन कौन्तेय
हेतुनानेन कौन्तेय
जगद्विपरिवर्तते
जगद्विवर्तते
मया by me adhyakshena by by superintendence prakritihi material nature suyate manifests sa both characharam the moving and the non-moving hetuna for the reason anena this kaunteya o son of kunti jagat the cosmic manifestation Viparivartate is working. This material nature, which is one of my energies, is working under my direction, O son of Kunti, producing all moving and non moving beings. Under its rule, this manifestation is created and annihilated again and again. So in the shloka 9.7, the slokam indicates that the creation, maintenance, and annihilation of the material cosmic manifestation are completely dependent on the supreme will of Krishna. At the end of the millennium, in the verse, the phrase "at the end of the millennium" is said. This means at the death of Brahmaji. Brahmaji lives for 100 years. After 100 years of Brahmaji's life, when he dies, the devastation or the annihilation takes place. This means that the energy manifested by the Supreme Lord is again wound up in himself. Then again, when there is a need to manifest the cosmic world, it is done by his will. He expands himself in this material energy, and this whole cosmic manifestation again takes place. In 9.8, the shloka indicates that this material world is the manifestation of the inferior energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. This has already been explained to us many times in the past in the Bhagavad Gita as well. At the creation, the material energy is let loose as Mahatattva, into which the Lord, as his first Purusha incarnation, Mahavishnu, enters. He lies within the causal ocean and breathes out innumerable universes, and into each universe the Lord again enters as Garbhodaksai Vishnu. Each universe is in this way created. He still further manifests himself as Karanodaksai Vishnu, and that Vishnu, Karanodaksai Vishnu, enters into everything, even the atom. And this fact is explained in the shloka. As for the living beings, as far as the living beings, they are impregnated into the material nature, and as a result of, and this is a result of their past, their past deeds, they take their positions. Thus, the activities of the material world begin. The activities of the different species of living beings are began from the very moment of creation. It is not that all is evolved. The different species of life such are created immediately along with the universe. Men, animals, birds, everything is created simultaneously, because whatever desires the living entities have had in the last annihilation are again manifested. it is clearly indicated here that by the word vasham, the living entities have nothing to do with this process. The state of being in their past life, is in the last creation, is simply manifested again, and all this is done simply by Krishna's will. This is the inconceivable potency of Krishna. And after creating different species of life, he has no connection with them. The creation takes place to accommodate the inclinations of the various living entities. And so the Lord does not become involved with it. However, this is clarified more in 9.9, in which it stated that one should not think in this connection that the Supreme Lord Krishna has no engagement. He is always involved in his eternal blissful spiritual activities, but he has nothing to do with these material activities. Material activities are being carried out by his different potencies. The Lord is always neutral in the material activities of the created world. This neutrality is mentioned in the word udasinavat. Although he has control over every minute detail of the material activities, he is sitting as if neutral. And the example that Prabhupada gives in the purport is of a high court judge who has the authority to make many different things happen, but he's above all of them, and he's neutral to everything. Similarly, the Lord is always neutral, although he has a hand in every sphere of activity. He is not situated in the dualities of the material world. He's transcendental to these dualities, nor is he attached to the creation or the annihilation of the material world. The living entities take their different forms in the various species of life according to their past deeds, and the Lord does not interfere with them. In 9.10, it's further elaborated that the Supreme Lord, although aloof from the activities of the material world, remains the supreme director. Krishna is the supreme Krishna is the supreme will and the background of this material manifestation. But the management is being conducted by the material nature. Krishna in Bhagavad Gita says that I am the father of all living beings. Krishna, by his merry glance, injects all the living entities into the material nature, and they come out in their different forms and species according to their last desires and activities. All these living entities, although born from the glance of Krishna, take their different bodies according to their past deeds and desires. So the Lord is not directly attached to this material creation. He simply glances over material nature, and material nature is thus activated, and everything is created immediately. Because he glances over the material nature, there is undoubtedly activity on Krishna's behalf, but he has nothing to do with the manifestation of the material world directly. The Supreme Lord Krishna actually has nothing to do with the material world, but he creates by his glance and ordains. In summary, the material world without the superintendence of Krishna cannot do anything, but Krishna is detached from all material activities. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Very nice. Very well summarized. I like the way you explained the process of creation. Lord Vishnu glancing at Maya Devi.
Maya Devi, yes. And then Mahatattva.
Anybody has any questions, any comments, anything to add, please? Okay. Okay. So yesterday in Brahma Samhita, we looked at Brahman, and the very next verse, which we didn't get to yesterday, but we meant to, is about Maya. And it is actually a very sweet coincidence that the verses that we are doing in the Bhagavad Gita are matching so perfectly with the verses that we are doing in Brahma Samhita as well. So the earlier verses Krishna talked about his all-pervasiveness in the Bhagavad Gita. So he talked about how, just like the air, he's everywhere, and how everything rests in him, but he does not get affected by that. So he was actually showing his opulence in the form of Brahman. And yesterday we learned also that Brahman is a form of the Lord's opulence. Now, here he's actually talking about the work his Maya Shakti does. And this corresponds very closely with verse 41 of Brahma Samhita. So we're going to actually do a little crossover today. So we'll look at Brahma Samhita as well. And so that means we basically complete verse 41 as well today. And we will see how this corresponds to what Vidushi has just said. So what I'll do is I'll share my screen so you can see the Brahma Samhita here. You don't have to go searching for it. Sorry. So I'll read this verse out and you can repeat it after me. Maya hi yasya jagadanda shatani sute.
Maya yasya jagadande satani sute.
Traigunya tad vishaya veda vitayamana.
Traigunya tat vishaya vitayamana.
Sattvavalambi parasatvam vishuddha sattvam.
Sattvavalambi parasatvam vishuddha sattvam.
Govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami.
Govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami.
Maya, the external potency, he indeed, yasya, of whom, jagat anda, of universes, shatani, hundreds, shatam is singular, shatani, plural. Sute brings forth, traigunya, embodying the threefold mundane qualities, tat of that, vishaya, the subject matter, veda, the Vedic knowledge, vitayamana, diffusing, sattva avalambi, the support of all existence, parasattvam, the ultimate entity, vishuddha sattvam, the absolute substantive principle, govindam, govinda, adi purusham, the original person, tam, him, aham, I, bhajami, worship. I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, who is the absolute substantive principle, being the ultimate entity in the form of the support of all existence, whose external potency embodies the threefold mundane qualities, namely sattva, rajas, and tamas, and diffuses the Vedic knowledge regarding the mundane world. Okay. So what we'll do is let's look at how this verse looks at in prose. So that's what we call anvaya, right? So when we transform verse to prose, we call it anvaya. So we're going to look at some anvaya out here. So who are we saying? Aham bhajami. So who am I bhajami? Aham govindam adipurusham bhajami. Now, is there any other which is ending in am? What else is ending?
Purusham. Purusham.
Govindam Adi Purusham we have.
Tattvam.
Tam, okay, we have. Vishuddha Sattvam, very good.
Sattvam.
Vishuddha Sattvam, it is one word.
Okay.
Parasattvam.
Vishuddha Sattvam is one word. Very good. Sattvavalambi Parasattvam is another word. So who is this Govinda? He is Adi Purusham. Tam Govindam. Who is this Govinda? He is Adi Purusham. He is also Vishuddha Sattvam. What does Vishuddha Sattvam mean? So you have Sattva Guna. Okay. Sattva normally is mixed with Rajas and Tamas. There is a certain amount of Rajas and Tamas in it. Like all of us. Right now, we are sitting here. We are we are talking about Bhakti. So before we came here, we actually made our moods to come and sit here and talk about the Lord. We went into the mode of goodness. We went into Sattvam. We might have been watching some video that was probably in Rajas. I'm talking myself. I was watching a video, generally laughing. Rajas or Tamas, we were doing some other activity. And then we came into Sattva. So did we come into pure goodness? No. There's still a lot of the Rajas and Tamas still within us. So this is called Prakritya Sattva, because this is Sattva that is mixed. And we'll see why it is called Prakritya very soon. Okay. Then you have, when Sattva is there without the Rajas and Tamas, but still in the material world, it is called Sattva. Then when it goes, so it's called Parasattva, without any mixtures. But when it is Sattva relating to Krishna, at that time it is Vishuddha Sattva. It has never had any contamination. There is no question of the three modes there at all. There is no question of the three modes. There is only one pure Sattva which exists and nothing else. So here we have Vishuddha Sattvam, which is Krishna. Then what is it here? He is Sattva Avalambi Parasattvam. Meaning what? He is the support of Parasattvam. What is Parasattvam? What did I tell you? Which are the three types of Sattva? First is forgot. Prakritya Sattva. What is Prakritya Sattva?
Goodness without Rajas and Tamas in the material world.
Yeah, goodness mixed with, but it's a predominance of goodness. Okay, so that is Prakritya Sattva. Then you have second, what is the second kind of Sattva? Parasattva. So it is pure goodness, but still in the material world, which means there is still Rajas and Tamas, but it's not touching this right now. Okay, Parasattva. Then you have the third, which is Krishna. That is Vishuddha Sattva. Okay, so Krishna is Vishuddha Sattva. The gunas don't touch him, which is why when we saw here in the Bhagavad Gita, he says, I am untouched. I perform all these activities, but I am untouched. When we perform activities, what happens? We get involved in those activities. We want a result from those activities. We are performing them for a particular reason. And therefore, we are looking for results. And because of that, those activities give us some karma. When the activities give us karma, we have to take birth again. With Krishna, he is also creating. But nothing gets attached to him. And that is where the example of the judge came in. Take an example of the king. The king is sitting there. He is the controller. Maya adhyakshena prakritihi suyate. Maya adhyakshena. The Raja can also sit there and say, Maya adhyakshena sarve janaha gachanti. All people here are moving around because of me, under my superintendence. Maya adhyakshena. Adhyaksha, superintendent. So under my superintendence, everyone is moving around doing everything. But if there is a thief, does the king get punished for that? No, the thief gets punished. So the same way, Krishna performs all these activities, but he remains aloof. He remains untouched. He is the sattva avalambhi, the support of sattva and parasattva. What is sattva? Prakritya sattva. This is the mixture. Plus parasattva, which is without the mixture. He is the support of both. Now let us understand who is the embodiment of this parasattva. The embodiment of this parasattva is Maya. Okay, just because Maya covers us in tamas doesn't mean she is in tamas. She is in parasattva. Okay, parasattva means she is in the mode of goodness, but in the material world. Okay, so coming back to the Anvaya, what do we see? We see Aham Tam Adi Purusham Vishuddha Sattvam Sattvalambi Parasattvam Govindam Bhajami. Yasya Maya, Maya hi Yasya. Yasya Maya hi, Maya kim karoti? Sute. Sute gives birth. Gives birth to what? Shatani Jagadanda. She gives rise to hundreds of universes. Okay. Shatani Jagadanda. What else does she do? She also tad vishaya veda vitayamana. Tad vishaya. Whose vishaya? It can mean two things. Tad can mean Govindas, or it can mean material world. So, Veda Vitayamana. Veda means knowledge. Vitayamana means Vitaran karna. In Hindi we say na Vitaran karna, which means distribute. Distributing the knowledge is her job. Distributing the knowledge of what is the question? Tad Vishaya. The knowledge of that object. What object? That object could be she is the creator of all this universe, Shatani Sute. So she has all this knowledge of the material world. So Tad Vishaya can mean either she is giving us knowledge of this material world, or she is giving us the knowledge of Lord Shri Krishna. It is entirely up to us to approach her to ask. Maya Devi, Durga Devi. We go to her, we say, oh, Durga Devi, please give me nice house, nice car. I'll do chowki for you. Or we go to her and we say, oh, Durga Devi, you know everything. You know about Lord Shri Krishna. You are You are Tadvishaya Veda Vitayamana. You can tell us everything about him. And she is also what? Traigunya. Traigunya. Three gunas. Three gunas. In terms of the three material binding gunas. Guna also means rope, remember? So she is giving us this knowledge in terms of the three gunas. Why is this? This is one word. Sorry, not the second, this one. This whole thing is one word. Traigunya tad vishaya veda vitayamana. I wouldn't say it's one word, actually, it's one phrase. Traigunya. She is, now here the translation is embodying the threefold mundane qualities. So here again we have two different meanings. Meaning one is that she herself embodies the three qualities, three gunas. The other meaning is that she gives us this knowledge in terms of the three gunas. Meaning, when we are in Sattva Guna, she'll give us the knowledge. When we are in Rajas or Tamas, she'll give us knowledge to do other things. Maybe when we are in Rajas, we may love to do karmakandi activities. She'll give us the knowledge to do that. And in that process, come to Krishna. So Maya Devi's job is to bring us to Krishna. Just as the job of the prison is not only to punish, it is also to prevent recurring acts of crime by that same person. It's to prevent what is technically called recidivism. Recidivism means when suppose there is a thief, he steals, he gets caught, put him in prison. He comes out again, steals. What's the whole point? So when he's in prison, the imprisonment is not only a punishment, it is also an education, a place of education where he is taught how to go about earning his living when he can come out and be a productive member of society. The same way, although we keep saying we are in this prison house, the material world is a prison and Durga Devi is Durga, the prison warden. Her job is not just to punish us. Her job is to make sure that we learn from here, go out and never come back here again. So, Traigunya tad vishaya veda vitayamana. Her job is to give us that knowledge. The knowledge of both Lord Shri Krishna and the knowledge of this mundane universe. How we use that knowledge is entirely up to us. So, having said that, and here also the purport I think is quite small. Yeah, it's basically quite small. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen now. So does that make sense, what we just heard about in the Brahma Samhita about Maya Devi? So we're going to bring that back and look at our 4 verses now. Okay, so keeping in mind what we have just heard about Maya, we look at verse 7. Sarva bhutani kanteya prakritim yanti mamikam kalpakshaye punastani kalpadau visrjamyaham. So kalpa, what is a kalpa?
Year, Brahma's year.
Yes, Brahma's lifespan.
Lifespan. 100 lifespan is 100 kalpa.
Yeah, 100 years is 1 kalpa. So kalpa kshaye, when that kalpa ends, what happens? Sarva bhutani prakritim yanti. Kasya prakritim? Mamikam prakritim. They all enter, all created entities enter. Where do they enter? Into Prakriti. Whose Prakriti? My Prakriti. And Kalpadau, Kalpa Adau, when the next Kalpa begins. Punah tani visrajami aham. Aham punah tani visrajami. Again, I create all those entities. Now, does the Lord really create them? No. All those souls just come out. Automatically. So, this is a process which is carried out. And when Krishna here, he says, they enter into my Prakriti. Prakritim mamikam. Mamikam Prakritim. So that my Prakriti there is not his spiritual nature. We are not entering into Krishna's spiritual nature. We are entering into his material nature. The Prakriti that's being talked about here is Maya. Traigunya. So she is within this material nature. So Maya consists of the three material modes: goodness, passion, and ignorance. She is Bhagavan's inferior energy. Jivas are
Tatastha Shakti.
Tatastha Shakti. Jivas are Tatastha Shakti. Are Jivas superior or inferior to? Yes, they are superior. So Jivas are superior to Jadamaya, to this Prakriti. Okay. And above them, above everything is Parasattva. Bhagavan. Vishuddha Sattva. Bhagavan. Now, therefore, a question is asked. Suppose a question were to be asked by Arjuna. He says, okay, so you are sitting there destroying, annihilating everything, creating everything, annihilating everything, creating everything. How are you not touched by the three modes? So Krishna says, Prakritim swamavashtabhya visrajami punah punaha bhutagramam imam kritsnam avasham prakriter vashat. This Prakriti is under my control. The whole cosmic creation is under me, and therefore nobody can do anything without my will. It is manifested by my will, it's destroyed by my will. So this Prakriti, so the material world is a manifestation of Bhagavan's Prakriti, which is an inferior energy, right? Jivas are Tatastha Shakti. So Maya or Prakriti is Apara Shakti. Jivas are Tatastha Shakti. So the Jivas, based on their karma, they get a body and they are put into this material world to carry out whatever, like Vidushi said, whatever desires they had and everything, unfulfilled. So then Arjuna may ask the question that we had asked earlier. You are creating, you're doing actions, and we can see that, when you create, there are inequalities in your creation. Someone is born rich, someone is born poor, someone has two hands, someone doesn't have a hand. How is this? If there are inequalities, shouldn't you be affected? Because you're not being fair. which means you're taking sides. So he says, Nacha mamtani karmani nibhadnanti dhananjaya udasinavadasinam asaktam teshu karmasu. Says inequalities and everything are only everyone's karma. It's got nothing to do with me. So only my external Maya and the Tatastha Shakti. So Apara Shakti and Tatastha Shakti get together and they perform all these activities. I am untouched. Na nibadnanti. Etani karmani na nibadnanti. Mam na nibadnanti. These activities do not tie me down. Udasinavat. Udasinavat. As if I am a completely impartial, neutral figure. Udasinavat. Asinam. Asan. I am just sitting. I am not involved in anything, like the judge or the king. I am just sitting. I'm watching everything. I am without asaktam. I am without any attraction or attachment in these activities. Teshu karmasu. Saptami, plural. Karmasu, teshu. In those activities, I have no attachment. Asaktam. And then he expands on that. He says, just like a king, you know, Maya adhyakshena prakritihi suyate sacharacharam hetu nanena kaunteya jagad viparivartate. Maya adhyakshena. Now this verse is filled with Tritiya Vibhakti. Maya adhyakshena hetuna anena. All hetuna anena adhyakshena, all are Tritiya Vibhakti. What is he saying? By my superintendence. Maya adhyakshena, by my superintendence. This Prakriti suyate. Remember sute in Brahman. So we said Jagadanda Shatani sute. Maya gives birth. Same here. Suyate. Suyate. Manifests, gives birth. This Prakriti, this Maya Devi, this Prakriti, material nature, manifests or gives birth to what? Chara and Achara. Charati means walks, moves. So Chara means moving, Achara does not move. So under my superintendence, this Maya Devi gives birth to all these moving and non-moving entities. Anena hetuna, due to this reason. Anena means this. Hetu means reason. Anena hetuna, due to this reason, O Kaunteya, Jagat viparivartate. Parivartana means to change. Viparivartate, it is changing all the time. It's moving all the time. So I don't get involved in the lives of all these people. So what if one is born blind, one is born rich, one is born black, one is born white? It doesn't matter to me. I have nothing to do with that. Due to their karmas, everybody has a particular life, and that whole thing is carried out between Prakriti and the Jiva. But I am their master. They cannot do anything which does not fit my rules. Adhyaksha. Adhi Aksha. Aksha means eyes. Adhi means under. So they are all under my eyes. I'm watching over them, making sure they don't do anything wrong. So that's where in the Bhagavatam also it says, na, that the sun rises out of fear of the Lord, the wind blows out of fear of the Lord, and so on. It's not necessarily fear of the Lord. Respect for the Lord. Respect for the Lord. Respect for his wishes.
Direction.
His direction. So this entire world, Jagat, is created and it moves and it keeps changing. What is the reason for that? Anena hetuna. This reason. What is this reason? Maya Adhyaksha. My superintendence causes the material world to be repeatedly created and annihilated. And I do all of this just by looking, just by my glance. Maya Adhyaksha, just by my glance. Does that make sense? So any questions? This was, it's fairly, what's the word I'm looking for? Dense and small. The 4 verses talk about the role of Maya. And we saw from Brahma Samhita the definition of Maya, what she does, and how Krishna is her controller. And the same thing is being said here by Krishna himself. Make sense? Any questions, any comments? Okay, then we can actually take a pause here and going to, so next week we have Usha Mataji, na? 11 to 14. And after that we have verse number, just give me 1 minute. Okay, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Who would like to do those? Okay, Mom. So we have, sorry, just 1 minute. 15 to 19. And then we have 20 and 21. Who would like to do 20 and 21?
Mataji will be 3 week, 3rd week from now?
Yes, 3rd week from now. So next weekend is Usha Mataji. The one after that, my mom.
Yep.
Would you like to do? Okay.
Yes, Mataji, I can do 18th, right? 18th, yeah, I can do.
Yeah. Okay. So 2021, and then we have the wonderful verse number 22.
Yeah, Ananya.
Yeah, Ananyas Chintayanto, Mom. So
I'll do it. I'll do it.
okay.
22. 22, right?
Yeah. Actually, sorry, Prabhuji. Vidushi, can you do 20, 21, and 22?
Yes, Mataji. Yep.
Yeah, okay. So then we have 23, 24, 25. That can you do, Prabhuji?
Yeah.
Okay.
23, 24, 25. Yeah.
Yeah. Then 26, 27, 28. Okay, we'll decide that maybe closer to the time.
I have one question.
Yes, Prabhuji.
See, in the YouTube or the mantra trance and all that, Brahma Samhita, Shloka they are reciting and then go to 28 or something and up to 46 or something. After that, they are not doing it. Why they are not doing?
Because the Govindam, these are called the Govindam prayers.
Okay.
Govindam Adi Purusham Namam Bhajami. So only that they recite. Yeah.
So
But
no other.
no, but I think on my channel I have the whole thing. I have recited the whole thing. So if you want to hear it,
Well,
you can.
yeah.
Yeah.
Which one I can see that?
What I'll look for it and I'll send you the link.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll send you the link so you can listen to that.
Okay. I have searched so many things. Everybody follows the same thing.
Yeah,
Only
yeah,
some standard instruction must be there. So whether we have to recite or not, I don't know.
yeah. So I think I have done it. I don't know.
Yes, you have, Mataji.
I have, haven't I?
Yep, you have.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
It's
there
in
it is.
your channel. Yeah.
Yeah, there it is. I'll put the link up right now here,
Thank you.
so you can.
I can save it.
Yeah. And I'll also put it up on our Bhagavad Gita with the group again, so you can look at it from there also.
Thank you.
No problem. So, anything else? Any other questions? Any comments? Anything? Okay. वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्यः च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः.
Thank you.
बहु बहु
Good night.
धन्यवादाः.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna everybody.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.